What's up, people? Hello. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. It's been a wild one in the Carabao Cup yesterday, and we have a exciting weekend of Premier League action coming up. Biggest one on the docket. Chelsea visit Spurs for a rematch of the hair pulling incident, hair pull gate, whatever you want to call it. We got a little rematch coming up. I'm ready for that. Honorary Blue this weekend. We are cheering hard for the Chelsea Blues. Hopefully they get that away win. Some easy-looking fixtures for Man City, for Liverpool. Anything but an easy fixture for the Arsenal. But we will, of course, get there. So right out the gate, people go ahead and get the likes up on the video. Hit subscribe if you're new. Of course, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. We're on our way to 200 subscribers. So go ahead and hit that button. All right. Here we go, gents. A nice 2-0 over the Blackburn Rovers. That's where we will start. What are you telling me about the game yesterday?
Man, to be expected. You know, we didn't play. I don't think we played down. It was nice to see James. It was nice to see Badiashile got one for the confidence. I honestly thought we looked decent. James a lot up in the box, taking shots, looking hungry.
I think it's more important from Badiashile's point. I mean, you already mentioned that the goal would be big for him, but I think it's more important that he's gotten to be in a partnership with Disasi.
Yeah.
Because they've even both said themselves, because they've played together before in France, so they've said themselves that that's a partnership they want to try.
Which I'm cool with. We got to get him on the pitch somehow, some way, especially with Silva coming out this week. I know I mentioned this Monday. Talking about his time is almost up at Chelsea, and he doesn't know what's next for him and that. And I mean, at times last year, you could tell that he was trying to show Badiashile how to play like he does. So it's imperative that he gets games. I would like to see him play with DCIC. I'd like to see him play with Colwell. I would like to see him play with Silva, just to see the contrasting in styles. I think athletically, your best bet's probably going to be a Badiashile DCIC pairing. Colwell's very athletic, but I think they still want to continue to play that kind of like that 3 center back, back line. So
2 wing backs, 3 center backs.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if you have James in the team, don't you kind of have to?
Yeah, he's not. I mean, he's almost adopted this, like, our last game, sure, but he almost adopted this like Trent Alexander style of like, I'm a right back, but I'm not playing defense.
Yeah.
Well, to get the best out of him is what I'm saying.
Right. I mean, he's a right mid. Like, he's transformed his game. Started as a right back. We play him there because he's good there. He plays good defense. But his mind and the way he's implemented and deployed a lot of times, he's a right mid. Like, he's playing very much so a little bit of box to box, but more so with an offensive mind where he's staying there, hitting the ball, overlapping the guy, making the run into the box and getting that ball. And like I said, I thought he was unlucky to not get one. The one where he almost slid it up underneath the keeper, I thought for sure, like, he hit it low, he hit it clean. Like, I mean, that's a striker's hit. Like, that's not a right back supposed to be hitting balls like that.
Well, we know Reece James has the finishing.
I was about to say, but it just goes to show what we're really missing when we don't have Reece James, which is why I love him and I hate him, man. Like,
because he's always injured.
He is that important to the squad, and you can build a squad around him and run a game through him. But he's just so, like, he's always has a bum leg. Like, I love it when he's there, and I hate it when he's gone, because it just you know the hole. Like, you see it every game, and you make up for it over the weeks. You fill out how to close the gap. Then you get him back, and we get comfortable, and then he gets hurt again. But
would you say he's your best finisher?
Yeah.
No, he shouldn't be.
I mean, he's close. He's close to the top.
I think Palmer's actually the best finisher. Right?
I mean, if I'm lining up a PK slot, he's in the top 5. I'm running Palmer.
Well, he's in the PKs for more than just because he's got a good PK.
Oh yeah, he'd be in the top 5 for
I think he's in the top 5 for finishing.
But I feel like, and I only got to watch a tiny bit of the 90, but I did go back for the highlights, and it looked like you were getting down the wings real easy. But once again, the highlight reel was a parade of misses.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's all it was. That's the whole game. Like, we should.
Am I right to say this? Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say, am I right to think that this should have been 7 just from those highlights?
Yeah,
easily.
Easily. Does that worry you? That even against Blackburn, both of your goals were the first one. The first one was a corner kick knockdown, and the second one was a gift.
The gift from the keeper.
So does that worry you against Spurs?
Proud that Raheem finished it. Truthfully.
Yeah, right.
I mean, let's be honest.
Well, he always plays against these low club, either freshly promoted clubs or absolute trash second, third league. He's just scored. Oh, now's my time to get a goal so I can pad the stat sheet and get my bag. Like, that's what I hate Raheem Sterling so much, but I'm glad he finished it. It was clean. He hit it clean.
Hey, that was 50 appearances. That was his 50th one.
Crazy.
I hate
Got the goal for him. Does it seem like he's been there that long?
No. That's how much he goes missing.
Say what, Patrick?
I'm gonna make a proclamation, and it's gonna be extreme, but just hear me out. Ugachukwu is going to be a better version of Paul Pogba.
Wow. That is a statement.
I am always he's got to cool it with the tackles for sure. And if he continues to develop, most definitely. But if he continues to develop, he will be. He runs like a gazelle, first off. Second,
he's a huge guy like that. Yeah.
He is a huge guy, and he's really good in the middle of the field. He's very confident on the ball. And every time he's put in a performance, now of course against Brighton he should have been off, and he had a moment there in this one where I think he got a yellow card for somewhat of the same type of tackle, but he didn't do anything else the rest of the game. But he can be that good. I truly believe it. I think that he's got all the tools. I think he's going to continue to develop. Of course, he's going to be on that French national team. There's no way they're going to keep him out, at least on the under 21s.
That team is stacked, though.
But he's been getting play with the under 21s. And
but you're up against Karmavinga, Chouameni, like it's.
Oh yeah. But I think that he'll play more of a deep lying playmaker kind of role.
How old is he?
Karmavinga is French,
20?
isn't he?
I think.
God, dude, that's
it's ridiculous, man.
God.
France are ridiculous.
Shoot.
But the only time I can remember seeing him in a Premier League match, I can't remember which one it was.
He's 19 years old.
Yeah, he's got promise for sure. Dude, he's looked decent. Well, he's only played like 4 times this whole season.
I know, but he's 6'3", 19 years old. He's calm on the ball. Again, he's got to chill with the tackles, but that will come. He's got it. I mean, there was a moment where he was in right outside the box and he dribbled past 2 guys and tried to feed somebody for a goal. And I'm like,
so
this
has he earned a start?
I mean,
on Monday?
Probably not. I think
because Enzo looked good coming back in, right?
Enzo looked good. I think you're going to see Gallagher, Enzo, and Caicedo on Monday. You don't want to change that up for sure, especially with you wanting to press.
I think, yeah, go ahead.
Wanting to press and whatnot. You can't pull Gallagher out. Enzo seems to be the calming force in the midfield right now. So you've got to play those 3. So Ugachukwu won't. I don't think he'll start. I think he could come on late, and especially if we've got a lead. But yeah, I'm buying that stock. And if it fails, y'all can let me have it by referring back to this moment. But I'm buying that stock. That dude.
I don't think he's
legit good.
I do like the promise that a lot of our youngsters show, but I do think he catches a loan at the end of this year as well. I don't think he'll be at the squad next season.
Well, Patrick, there's no reason to clip you up for this prediction because no one expects anything from him. No one knows who he is.
True.
You're like the drummer from REO Speedwagon. Nobody knows you.
You watch him and you'll see it. Like, dude shouldn't be doing some of the stuff he is at his size.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's young, so who knows? He might take some time to get into the team, but maybe Enzo starts having stinkers and he comes in. Who knows?
That's gonna be bad for us if he does.
But I think your midfield three is kind of set, though.
I think it's set. I think we see James start. I think since he played as if he was healthy, he looked healthy, making his runs at full speed. I think he's proven that he's healthy. I think we see him start just for that factor. Just our captain's back, hoping for that. Everybody loves him on the squad. Everybody wants him to be there. They've all shown support for his captaincy, even when he was announced. So it's just like, do one for the gaffer type situation. Hey, Reese is back. We got our captain back. It's another piece of that bolstering the squad. Like, I know what it was like having guys come back, from team. And you're like, oh, dude, yeah, no, we got him back. Like, we can play the ball the way we need to. We can stop, having that. It's, it's just another mental block. I think
Badiashile coming back is going to be just as big.
Oh, yes.
I do. The problem with our defense coming back, after January, it's going to be very interesting. Well, not after January, actually. Fofana's
well, when the 87 guys are healthy at the same time, you're going to have some selection issues.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if Badiashile, because we know he's supposed to be a starter. So if he performs and wants to be a starter, you got Fofana coming back. We know he's a starter. If he's actually, that's a serious injury. Like, that's career changing. I hope he comes back stronger, Adrian Peterson style. but it's just.
So does Colwell get displaced, or does?
That's my fear. Is that we
that's the question,
Colwell back from a starting position at Brighton, and then rip him, and then we play him for half a season, and then he hits the bench, because he might hit the bench. He might hit the bench now with Badiashile being somewhat healthy.
Well, that's the question, isn't that? That leads us into, so my question would have been, does the Blackburn win give you any sort of confidence or any kind of maybe a little bit of a boost? But now we got a little bit of a selection issue on Monday. So that, right. That's good.
I do think it gives, obviously it's nice going into big games on the top of a win. We needed that. We're trying to build momentum. We stumbled on the, we gave up a game against you. We gave the game to you guys. That was heartbreaking. And then I'm
just saying it's Blackburn. It's Blackburn.
I know. And I know that.
No.
And we gave the game. We didn't perform. I wouldn't say we gave the game to Brentford. We didn't perform when we played them. We didn't convert our.
You just never adapted. You just never adapted to. You never had any kind of a tactic to break down the low block. And at the end of the day, you've been playing this tune since we've been on the pod. You just can't finish.
No. And these guys played us really narrow, which allowed that wing to happen. I don't think our Tottenham's going to play us any type of narrow. Our wing backs aren't going to have that type of freedom because they're going to have to track.
Spurs are very expansive.
Exactly. They play open. They play wide. So it's going to be interesting to see how that that's why I say I think Reese gets the nod here because.
Well, he's gonna have to be running. He's gonna have to get up and down. He's gonna have to come back for sure. Really the key to beating Spurs, and I said it when I was on AFTV the first time about right before Arsenal Spurs, and I said that we would shut James Maddison down, and for large parts of that game we did. And we kept them from creating much for large parts of that game. The very first time Arsenal let Maddison have space, he's hoofed it into the corner. They win. Kulusevski wins the corner. Yeah. And then the 12 seconds later, James Maddison spins Saka like he's a top. So the first two times he gets space, we get scored on. So that's the key right there. Is Gallagher going to keep up with him? Is Enzo going to keep up with him? Because I say just put someone on him and don't let him.
If we're going to man mark him, put Gallagher on him. I don't think anybody runs I don't think anybody runs a healthier 90 minutes than what Conor Gallagher puts
I don't think you do that. And here's why. you're going to still want. I really think that we'll see a lot of what Poach did against Arsenal. With that switching in the up front, and you're going to want Gallagher to push forward, to, potentially cause turnovers and whatnot. I think you see Caicedo actually following Madison, which I believe he played him well last year. Of course, that was with him at Leicester, so that's a little bit different. But I think you see Caicedo, and I think you gotta put pressure on Spurs.
So you want the high press like you had versus Arsenal?
Yeah, you can't let them just control the ball and work their way down the pitch, because they're gonna find small spaces to beat you in.
Yeah.
This game's going to be very reminiscent for me. I think we're going to employ the switch up front, but it's going to be very reminiscent of that Liverpool game at the beginning of the season. I think we're going to see a lot because they play a little open, so we're going to see that run and gun where Sterling can actually probably get on his feet a little. Mudryk, again, this is selection issues. I would play Mudryk in this. I would play Sterling in this one. Let them, if the Spurs are going to run. So let's have what we need on the other side of that to play them boys out in the open.
You just have to finish. They're gonna give you chances.
I know.
The only reason Arsenal didn't finish because we didn't beat them is because we didn't finish our dinner. They're gonna give you chances.
We can't finish. We can't eat a dinner. We can serve it to us all day.
Sounds so simple, but if you finish your chances, you have a strong chance.
If you would just give us 50% better than what we have been doing with the amount of chances we've created this season, we'd be in the running for a top 5.
We'd be third place.
We're stupid. And so we're just, and you know what's sad?
Well, weren't we saying that last year too?
Yes,
didn't we say that same thing last year?
We didn't even fix the issue. And Christopher Nkunku is going to bring a lot offensively. He's not a poacher. He's not he's a good winger. He's a good wing. Like, what's he going to get us? 12, 13 goals, 14 goals is a good season for him.
I think he hit 20, actually.
I need a striker that puts in 18 to 21. Diego Costa type season.
Does Jackson ever get there for you? Do you think Jackson ever is the potential even there? Because it seems a weird buy to me because he rode the bench for 30 games in La Liga. Yeah. Someone gets hurt and he comes in and scores like 9 and 7.
9 and 7, yeah.
Or something. And all of a sudden Boley is flipping lids for him, and
I think because he's young and he fits the profile for the bet. If it's 30 million is that's the blind bet for Todd Boehly over here, man. He's not
that's just the initial offer, no matter who it is.
Whoever it is. Like, he's looking at, 100 million for Mudryk or 80 million for Mudryk, 110 for Enzo, 100 for Caicedo. Those are big bets. 30 on Jackson, that's nothing to my man. He's short.
Fair enough.
If he gets me 3 goals, chalk it up. Like, hey.
Oof. Look, if Kai Havertz gets 3 goals, we'll celebrate. But your front man, 3?
I think Nicholas Jackson moving forward is a 10 to 11 goal a season type of player.
Yeah,
I don't think he's a 9 to.
If he's starting week in and week out, though, if he continues to start, man, like
he won't. I think he was the Band-Aid for a bench. It was like it's padding the bench. If this guy goes down, at least he's halfway decent. We can play him because Nkunku did go down. Mudryk hamstring, he's questionable. It's just all of this.
I think Mudryk plays. I think he plays.
I think since they didn't rule him out as well, I think he does play.
Cuckoo's got to be a shoe-in, right?
For the way he's played,
unfortunately,
I'm just saying for the chance,
for revenge status, yes.
For the chance to kick Romero really, really hard.
No, God, no, because then we'll get the red, and then we'll lose Cuckoo. Yep, right at the first. Dude, he'll Roy Keane. That's what I would do. I would Roy Keane. I would run up and suplex my man.
Right out the rip. Just as soon as the game starts. Yeah, I haven't forgotten, Bozo. I'm coming for you. And just come in and kick the crap out of it. I'll celebrate.
I did find it interesting, speaking of Nicholas Jackson. Pochettino came out and pretty much said, like, we don't want to get rid of him. We don't want to give up on him. He's still young. We just need to develop him and help him get confidence. And I think confidence is a huge thing with him. Because there are times where he missed one against Blackburn that should have been a goal. But that was a shot of somebody who's not confident whatsoever.
Yeah, very Kai Havertz looking.
8 yards outside, in front of goal, and he skies it.
Yeah,
I mean, that should have been just side-footed into the bottom of the net.
And I think you're right, Patrick. Like, look at Nicholas Jackson and the way he played when he first came to us. It was very electric, I got this, I'm on the ball. Then he takes this one, and like I want to point to this instance because I think this is where it really shattered him. He gets this open slot off to his left-hand foot, or off to the left foot, open net on the left, obviously on the right-hand side. All he has to do is slot the ball, and instead of slotting it, he hits my man, not even in C19. He blasts it all the way to Q20.
He hits it to the West Ham Stadium.
And that's because you're on such a big stage, and it's at the Bridge, and you should put those away in bigger games. And every game for us, unfortunately, every game for us is a big game. It's not like, okay, yeah, we can lull off this part of the season. We don't have that luxury. And, for him to hit that, and he's supposed to be the front man, and he catches all kind of media stuff. Everybody's clowning him. He comes back and whiffs another one with his right foot, and it's like, it's the striker's mindset. It just piles on where you're like, oh, I'm in a drought. Like, it doesn't even matter how I hit it. It's not going in.
Yeah.
So where does that leave you for Monday? What are we expecting the lineup to be?
Well, I just looked.
Sterling at the 9, Palmer.
Available.
Really? You think you're going Sterling false 9?
Yeah, I think we're going to Sterling.
Palmer. Yeah, I can see us doing that. But think about it. Sterling looked really, really good against West Ham because he was overlapping with James.
I agree, man. I just don't think we trust. I don't think we put anyone. I don't think we start Jackson to sacrifice. I think Mudryk fits the start too as well, though.
Is he too hurt though? If he's not fit,
and then Palmer.
That's the thing. He's not ruled out. Who? Sorry, Patrick.
Palmer
and who?
So he's saying Mud Dog, Sterling, Palmer, Gallagher, Enzo, Caicedo.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then what? James.
That'll make it a 4. So it'll be James.
Shield?
No, I think it'll be DCIC, and I think it'll be either
Colwell
or Shield. And then you have Cuckoo.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that does bring us to the predictions part. And I'll go ahead and pop up the predictions table. For those of you listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all other platforms, Patrick, the champion, is on top with 120 points. Lewis in second with 116. I myself am on 109. And Xavier has caught everyone up at 105. The league is back in contention. I've gone with a 2-2 here in this Spurs-Chelsea match. I think the energy is going to be really high. I think it's going to be very almost a dangerous kind of game. It's kind of, it might get out of hand, and the referees are going to have one to get on, lots to do, I'm going to say.
That's a normal Chelsea Spurs match at this point. I mean,
I want so bad that if this game ends up with some late drama like the other one, I want to see Pochettino just elbow. I want to see him just drop an elbow.
Oh my God! Hey, it is the Potterchino Derby, So it's the Derby. He's going to have a little special something for Spurs as well. I feel like
be interesting. It is going to be interesting. How that's going to be an emotional moment for him as well. And I think that the team will feed off of that as well. Hopefully, it's not a moment of nervousness going back to there, and I hope it's confidence of like, hey, I'm going to show you getting rid of me was not the best.
Were they at that stadium when he was manager?
Maybe 1 year. Or they may have actually still been at Wembley.
At 3 Point Lane. Oh, at Wembley. Yeah.
At Wembley, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got a prediction?
At Wembley. So, I think that so you went 2-2, right?
I said 2-2.
I called this last week. Actually, I called it, I think, 2 weeks ago. I can't pick us to lose because I said we're going to win. I think we are going to actually end their winning streak.
I would love it.
I
love
think
that.
we've learned from the Arsenal game that you got to finish completely. So I think we get ahead again. And I think we do a better job of finishing, being smarter with the ball. Of course, I'm always concerned about, a gaff in the back, specifically Sanchez trying to play to the midfield. That's usually where the gaff happens. Either
I love that word.
Ball to somebody who is marked and they get, just pushed right off the ball or whatever it might be. Or he just passes it to the other team. You just
forgot what color you were wearing.
Exactly. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, just because you're not wearing blue doesn't mean you don't pass to the guys in blue.
Exactly. But I do think we win. I hate that I actually went with the scoreline because I was thinking, for Chelsea to win, they're gonna have to be strong defensively. But I had to account for the one goal that we for sure will give up. So I went 2-1.
2-1. I certainly hope that comes true, but they do have lots of weapons. It's going to be tough to keep them out. What you saying, X?
Man, I hate
2-1 to the Blues.
I hate it might go for me. It's always Man U, Tottenham, Arsenal. Then kind of everyone else.
Then the rest of you.
And the rest of them.
Yeah, I get that. It's Tottenham, Man U, and then everyone.
And then everyone else. Yeah, it's very close.
All of you. Yeah.
All the rest.
I don't like anybody else.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
I hate these guys. Yeah.
Yeah. But Spurs and United, it's a burning, fiery, passionate.
I'm gonna go 1-0.
Hatred. You're saying 1-0 instead of 2-1? Yeah. Switching it up. That's a bold prediction.
Because I want it early. I want to see Spurs. I want to see control.
You're calling for a Jose performance.
No, I don't want to park the bus on them because I don't want to invite that pressure. Because like you said, they have the weapons. I want the early goal to give the boys – I want it to be back and forth enough to where the boys have that in them to where as the game progresses, we have this, we got this, we got this, we got this, we got this, and carry that out. I would like to see a full 90 performance of that. Because we had that against you guys. We had the first 20 minutes. We didn't finish. We got an easy, lucky goal. We controlled the game a little bit more. And we give up a goal, and then all hell breaks loose. So it's like, I want to see that control that we exhibited against you guys instead of 20 to 30 minute, 20, nothing, and then probably another 20, and then give up something stupid. I want to see us control a game. So I want it early. I want it like within the first 20, and then play them head up. Just play the game. Because we don't give like Patrick's saying, like, yeah, unless we don't give goals, we give away goals. We give away goals. Here you go. Yeah. Here you go, buddy. Yeah, you
don't get scored on, you let people score.
Yeah, right. So, I want to stop that bleeding, and I think a 1-0 performance commanding a win sets us up and knocks Spurs off their perch, which I would love to see happen. Like I said, I want Pochettino to have this, fire under him. Like, yeah, I want to prove. Like, you should be able to look at him and be like, I'm about to prove to you guys why I'm in the Premier League and why I'm here and why I should.
We want to see a handshake fight.
And that's what I said, man. I want to see him drop the elbows.
We want to see another handshake fight. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Well, yeah, there you have it. I've gone for a draw. The Chelsea men have both gone for a heart pick and a Chelsea win. I hope they're right. Of course, I will be cheering really, really hard for the Blues on Monday. But all right, yeah. We move. The Arsenal have traveled to West Ham and put in an absolutely appalling performance. I will say that when the lineup came out, I was very happy. I was glad that he rotated as much as he did. In fact, I myself would have rotated even more. But, that's just because Jorginho is just a joke. I'm so fed up. Like, okay, yeah, I was definitely happy with the lineup, and I was glad that the second team got a chance to come in and get some minutes, a chance to show Arteta that, hey, maybe I should play versus Newcastle instead of that guy, or instead of that guy, or instead of that guy. Not a single one of them took that opportunity. No one.
I go back to our discussion about
No
Eddie.
one.
This was again another opportunity for him to step up.
Worst of the lot. Worst of the lot. Look, I am supremely indifferent to the League Cup. I do not care that we were knocked out of the League Cup even at all. What I do care about is when you're given the opportunity to put the shirt on and put your name in the hat for the Premier League, for the real games, for the big games, and you come on and you have a shocker like that, and you lay it. There's about 7 or 8 goose eggs laying on that field over at West Ham right now from the Arsenal players because it was crap. It was less than it was less than crap, and I don't get it. How do you not? Why? How do you not show up? They didn't even show up.
Dude, you scored in the 96th minute? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because Saka, Rice, Martinelli, and Odegaard all came in the game late in the game.
And Tomiyasu.
So we put on the A team, and it looked like a game. And we actually controlled the last 10 minutes, the last 7-8 minutes of the game. We were dominant. We were in total control because it was Martin. It was Rice. Rice was in the 6. Martin was in the 10. We had, I think, Vieira finished in the 8. Trossard, Havertz, Nelson is what finished. Martinelli, Havertz, Saka is what finished the game. So we were obviously the better team when all of our players were on the field. And they played their full team, right? And so you would probably expect their best team, especially since they're playing well this season, to beat our second team.
Yeah.
But at least show up to the game. At least try. At least look like you know what you're doing. A midfield trio of Jorginho, Kai Havertz, and Fabio Vieira would not start for the CSU squad.
That's your personal nightmare.
Man.
Absolute
that's
and utter disgrace. It's my 3 most hated players at the club.
Blind leading the blind in the midfield. Kai doesn't know what he's doing. Jordan
right, Patrick.
Lost in the middle of the game.
It's my 3 most hated players at the club, all in the midfield. And you wonder why we didn't create anything. I've never seen so many poor touches in the final third. Yeah. Just a litany of absolute garbo touches. We'd get the ball in the final third, and it's like we're playing with spaghetti noodles. We're looking like Darwin noodles at the beginning of last season in front of goal.
Couldn't speak at least.
How did Ramsdale look?
Couldn't even talk to his manager.
Yo, Ramsdale. I feel so bad for Ramsdale, man. I'm a huge fan, but he did not cover himself in any kind of glory. Did himself no favors. The third goal is 100%, bro. You got to stop that. It's right at him. It's hit his hand. It's hit his wrist. It's hit his wrist and gone in the goal. He didn't put up both hands. He's fallen backwards and put up one hand. Like, I'm a huge Ramsdale fan, and he might have done better on the second one as well. I feel bad for him, but the second one's not his fault. It's Alexander Zinchenko's fault, 100%. He's just not a defender. Straight up, awful game. Jorginho, terrible.
Wow.
You guys know who the center back Mavropanos is?
No.
He played for Arsenal for like a season, and now he's West Ham's like 5th choice. He's like their 4th choice center back.
I saw his name, and I'm looking at the lineup right now, and I'm like, I don't remember him whatsoever.
Dude picks up the ball in their defensive third and dribbles the length of the pitch, and Georgie still couldn't catch him. This guy is 7'11".
That's Jorginho.
And I could run faster than Mavropanos with my bum knee and everything. And it took Jorginho 80 yards, and he still got the cross off. Am I the only one seeing this? Jorginho had the armband. Jorginho had the armband. Are you out of your mind? Are you outside of your mind? What are you doing? He is absolute trash. He's the human turnstile because he's always having to turn around and run in the other direction.
That's after the Champions League. That's what he turned into at Chelsea. You
know the cartoon where it's like the one person's in the middle, and then you see the crowd run this way, and so it starts doing this, and then you see the crowd just run this way, and then it starts doing that. That's Jorginho every game now.
And as bad as he was, Kai Havertz, you bum.
Yo, you should have known. You should have known you were about to lose.
I did.
You should have known you were about to lose this game when you start 2 Chelsea players in your midfield. You know they're not going to. Oh, yeah.
It's Chelsea's 2017 center midfield pairing. What are we doing? What are we doing? I'm sorry, Mikel, but you have effed this one up. It's a $60 million horror show of a mistake because this guy is a con artist. I finally figured it out. He's an absolute con. Somehow, some way, he has convinced the world that he's a professional footballer. Because, bro, you don't deserve to be on the bench for the U17s. You're trash. Have some pride, bro. Have some absolute pride. There is no way that you're getting paid to play professional soccer. This is embarrassing.
His highlights from his last year at Bayern Leverkusen, and you're like, oh my God, this guy's gonna be amazing. Never saw it at Chelsea.
And
I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that man is wearing the same crest that I put on every day.
Back to Germany. Like Timo did better. Timo came over, looked the exact same way. Send him back. Just send him
Cut
back.
your losses. Dude, you wouldn't start for Monza, a newly promoted team in Serie A. How in God's name are you on Arsenal? It's the worst signing I think I've ever seen Arsenal make. And that's including a left back named Andre Santos, whose biggest claim to fame was that he scored versus you guys in that 5-3. Other than that, he was so bad, and that was a better signing. Pepe was a better signing than Havertz.
One that,
you had this center back.
Costa liked to rile up, wasn't he?
Absolutely. No, that was Gabriel Paulista. And Gabriel Paulista is 10 times the footballer that Kai Havertz is. It's a disgrace.
I do have
like David Luiz over there, man.
It's awful.
I see that Mohamed El Nini made the bench. I'm surprised Arteta didn't play him.
Emmy Smith Rowe, dude. Like
Emmy Smith Rowe.
Smith Rowe is injured again. Weeks on weeks. Get him out. I love Smith Rowe, bro, but you can't stay fit for 1 week straight, for 2 weeks straight. Get him out. Thomas Partey, get out of here, man. You can't stay fit for 4 straight days, bro. What are we doing? What are we doing? Because I am terrified for Saturday. Because look at our selection problems now.
Yeah.
You know it's Jorginho. You know, in my heart of hearts, it's Jorginho, because Arteta is going to approach this like we approached the City game. He's just going to try to shut the game down, shut them down, no passing, no movement, no getting through the lines, nothing. He's just going to try to shut it down completely. That's going to mean that it's Jorginho, Rice, Odegaard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm frightened. And if Havertz is anywhere near this team, long day, man. I cannot stand Kai Havertz. I tried to support him in the beginning. But I knew If I knew, if I want to go back to the first time somebody went to Arteta and said, "Hey, man," I guarantee it was some lout from Chelsea, somebody that infiltrated the club, and, and comes up to Arteta on the sideline after the Arsenal-Chelsea game or something, says, "Hey, man."
Georgie. It was Georgie.
I'm telling you.
Agent Georgie, man.
I mean, even with how you presented him when he finally signed the contract, clearly it was Georgie. I mean, the guy gets his jersey at Georgie's wedding. Like, come on.
Georgie, man. Georgie's like, hey, man, how do we mess? All right, look, we got to leave Chelsea. We're not wanted here anymore. Who can we screw over the most? I'm going to cost Arsenal a Champions run. I'm going to lose them at least one game. You need to come over here and cost them money in the transfer market. Plants, man. Roman's not done.
Roman's never done.
It's an Agent Georgie masterclass because he has absolutely effed us hard. Like it's going to be a real issue because Partey is out for weeks. Jesus is out till December.
That's another one, man. You might want to.
It is a huge issue. It's such, dude. If we don't buy Ivan Toney, we're not serious. Like, it's an absolute joke that we're saying we're supposed to challenge for this title, and our backup team, our squad depth comes in and is absolute garbage. That was an embarrassing performance.
You can take solace in this. His contract expires in June.
Whose contract?
Jorginho's.
Yeah, he's too old.
Well,
probably get another.
Knowing the crap that he's probably peddling, he's going to get an extension. There's no doubt about that. Good Jesus Christ!
Looks like it's about an 18-month contract. Y'all played 11.3 million euros. So wait a minute, was it?
Chelsea, the people that negotiated the Havertz deal at Chelsea are sitting back every time Arsenal play and are laughing their absolute butts off. Just every time Havertz loses possession, doesn't run back, just kind of looks wistful, does like he didn't even want to be there, like he did for 3 years at Chelsea. We knew. Those guys are laughing all the way to the bank 65 million times, just geeking out.
What is more funny for them, Havertz or Mount?
Havertz, because the manager actually trusts Havertz.
Oh, yeah.
This is
true. Ten Hag won't play Mount. Well, won't play Mount. Played him last week.
I've had enough. And Fabio Vieira, You're not missing out on the shellacking either, my friend, because you were awful, bro. You looked like 2 seasons ago when I was saying the same thing. $30 million absolute waste. We spent $30 million on Fabio Vieira. You know that?
Wow.
30 mil balls, and he has not done anything. You know when his last goal was? Last season in the Europa League.
Wow.
Or no, well, because he got the penalty, because we gave him the penalty the other day in a 5-0 win, just like Kai Havertz. Bro, you're doing as good as Kai Havertz. It's a disgrace. Like, he was supposed to be the guy that come in and lead the team versus West Ham. He was the one. You're in Odegaard's position. You need to step up. Look, no one on the team wants the 8 position. No one on the team has locked down that 8 position. If we had a decent 6 other than Rice could play. But every time Jorginho plays with Rice, you notice Rice cheating back a whole bunch, hindering Martinelli.
Well, because
he knows that he's playing with the human turnstile.
Georgie's going to get dusted.
He's going to get torched. And Rice is going to have to do double the work.
The last couple of years.
It's a problem. And it's a huge mistake, and I really hope that Havertz is not Arteta's Ozil. I really hope he doesn't hang his hat on Havertz, and Havertz just rides Havertz straight to hell. That's because that's what that's bad. That's what it feels like he's gonna do. And if he doesn't,
that cost. Well, I guess that was the end of the Wenger, right? That was it.
Oh, in my opinion, yeah, we could do a whole video on how Ozil was the cancer that plagued Arsene Wenger's final years.
Yep.
We can do a whole video on how I thought Wenger hung his hat on Ozil, tried to build a team on Ozil who didn't want to work for the shirt. Never wanted to work for the shirt. When Ozil worked, when Ozil decided to show up for a game, tell me, we were magnificent. We smashed people. But you didn't see it that often. That's why we never did anything when he was around. Because it was so off and on. Kai doesn't even do that. He's never on. He's always off.
He's good
it's
at
just
holding.
Off.
You give him a pass, he'll hold it. and then
No, he won't.
No, he won't.
What passes did he hold in the West Ham game? I'll wait.
Sorry, I just watched the Jorginho run. Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Oh man.
It's an 80-yard run, and you can't keep up with Mavropanos, who also, probably is twice your weight, twice your size.
Yeah. Nice like you, like Ben White too.
Yo, dude, don't even. It's a foul. If there's VAR, that's not a goal. It's a foul. It's Souček. It's your favorite West Hammer. Oh, Souček the cheat. Souček the second goalie. He knows there's no VAR. He knows there's no VAR, so he's got a handful of the jersey. Yeah. Huge handful of jersey because he knows there's no VAR. I'm going to get away with this, no problem. If there's VAR, it's not a goal.
Even if there is VAR, he's getting away with it.
Well, yeah, because it's Souček. Yeah, but
dude got to play goalie, and they looked at it for like 30 seconds. Oh no, not a handball. No.
I'm also really disappointed that Trossard didn't step up. Because
that's the thing, like, I think y'all have plenty of depth. I really do. It's just people aren't doing their job like they should. Trossard, I mean, of course he comes back, he scores the equalizer against Chelsea, but he gets a chance as a starter, and this is now multiple times where he should take the most of that opportunity, and he doesn't. He just doesn't.
It's weird, right? He doesn't play well when he starts, but when he comes in as a sub, he plays very well.
Yeah, he's Chicharito, man.
But
he super sub.
Like, and Eddie, dude, you've hit a hat trick at the weekend, and then you come into this game and have an absolute stinker. That right there, case in point, 100% why you'll never be the main man at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Ever, bro. You can't say, oh, I got a hat trick against Sheffield. Sheffield are crap, dude. Sheffield are awful, and you got a hat trick against them. Well, fair play. Well done. You come to a team that actually is good and plays well, a Premier League side, a real Premier League side, and you're trash. You have zero effect on the game. It's a disgrace, and I'm shocked at how poor they all were. We can't play them all at once. If one or two of them come into the team for 20 minutes, it's fine. But when they all come out there together at once, there's no leader. Georgie's not a leader. There's no leader. There was no one to do anything. When Rice come on, we immediately improved. Saka comes on. Martinelli comes on. A little bit better. Odegaard comes on, and we're even a little bit better. So you took all those guys off, and we were fine. And so moving forward, that does give me some hope for Saturday. But we still have the 8 issue, and we still have the forward issue.
Oh, my gosh. I'm watching these highlights. I guess it's from West Ham's YouTube. Yeah, Ramsdale's got to say that. There was a shot that Havertz does does a spin off the ball, and then he pushes it wide. God, that's classic Havertz.
I'm glad you enjoyed that.
Laugh is because we've had to deal with it for 4 years.
I'm glad you're enjoying that because I didn't. It was disgusting.
Once Tuchel left, he became our 9, and it was like, wait, like our pure 9 was Kai Havertz, and that was it. Potter did it. Lampard did it. They were just like, shove him up there. Hopefully he scores a goal. Yeah, we've had our heartbreak and had to deal with Kai.
We might see it on Sunday because
Oh my god,
Jamal Sells and Fabian Schär and Dan Burn are absolute tree trunk, massive murder stacker looking. These dudes are giants. So if Mikel thinks we need to go big and try to body him, he might go Havertz because Eddie was crap.
Oh, Havertz as a 9 again. Oh.
You're not scoring goals. Well,
here's what I want. Here's what I want. Here's what I want. I want Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu. See, and this is where it's just disgusting because we have no choice. It's Jorginho. We have no choice. It's Jorginho, it's Rice, it's Odegaard, Martinelli, Trossard, Saka is what I want to see.
Yeah.
Trossard false 9. But like Trossard's off it. Havertz is just terrible in general. Eddie has had an awful game. Like, do we put Vieira? Vieira just had a terrible game. Do we put him in the other 8 and Rice plays the 6? Like, it's.
Well, Vieira got the assist to Odegaard.
Yeah, well, I mean, did you watch the goal? It was a one-touch pass.
I know, but
he was hardly in the play.
I mean, Havertz looks like he's playing a 9 and he's like running towards Odegaard.
In the end, he was.
Instead of trying to get open. Oh my goodness.
It's bad news Bears, man. It's really bad news Bears. And I'm very worried because we got bullied in this game. We got absolutely bullied across the whole park in this game. And if West Ham bullied us,
Newcastle will for sure.
Newcastle at home, it's going to be loud. It's going to be disgusting. I don't think I've seen a game at St. James's Park where it wasn't absolutely dumping rain. It's going to be cold. It's going to be gross. We're going to be bruised, battered, and kicked the whole game. They're bringing the axes, the hatchets, the spears, the swords.
Issue them at the front.
Yeah, it's a gladiator arena, man. And I'm calling for Odegaard to step up. He's going to have a real leader's captain's performance, especially coming off the back of poor form, coming off the back of our worst performance of the season. He's going to have to be big and have a real captain's performance.
Score one early. Get out.
Remember last season, he was magnificent in this game.
Yeah.
He got a goal. He was running things. We need that again. We need him to be doing that again. And honestly, I don't think we can do that with Georgie in the 6. As much as it pains me, as much as it hurts my heart, I think our best chance is Rice in the 6, Odegaard, and Havertz or Vieira.
Well, I will tell you, it looks like it's not going to be a washout. Looks like maybe some light rain, but it is going to be cold.
Yeah, it's going to be 6:30 at night there.
Yeah, so it's gonna be like 42, 43 degrees with light rain.
It's gonna be gross.
That's not fun.
It's not gonna be fun.
No, I wanted to go back to the whole Zinchenko thing. What is he doing? Like he's
not
guarding like field, not a player, like space. And I mean, Kudus is wide open. Like that should not be a ball that's easily played. Because that was a cross-field pass. So it's not like Zinchenko didn't see it coming. He just didn't.
What's going on with Zinchenko, man? He was so good for y'all guys.
He's a terrible defender.
Yeah.
He's just not a defender. That's what we should do. I actually heard that shout. That's who should play the 8.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Let Tommy play left back because he's miles better as a defender.
Oh, definitely.
And play Rice, Zinchenko. There's your answer. There it is. Because if Zinni doesn't have to play defense,
yeah,
he's fine.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I would love to see it Saturday. Shit, let's see it. Because ain't nobody, like I said earlier, no one wants that position. Fabio Vieira doesn't want it. Havertz doesn't want to be at the club at all. Like, Havertz shouldn't be on a football pitch, let alone playing for Arsenal, costing $65 million. He shouldn't be playing for the U12s. Yeah. Who wants it? Nobody wants a spot. Give Zinchenko a shot.
Yeah, might as well.
But yeah, I'm worried. I feel like we're going to get kicked and bullied. And if you recall last game, yeah, we had a great performance, but we also, like last time at St. James, we had a great performance, one of the best performances of the season. But they hit the bar 43 seconds into the game. They had a penalty that took a 7-minute VAR check to overturn, if you recall. They hit the bar late on. Ramsdale had to make a ton of saves in the end.
Yeah, he had a really big one late too.
Yeah. So, and that was one of our best performances of the season, and we were hanging on in the end, is what I'm saying. So, when those margins, like you say, X, when those little moments don't go your way,
it's hard.
Those can be the difference, and against Newcastle, those moments can be the difference between a 4-0 loss.
You gotta take St. James Park out of this game.
We have to score early.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta take it to them, be in control, score early. Do not, because they're gonna have 13 men on that field if you let St. James Park start getting as loud as they can get.
This one is so hard to predict. This is a tough one to predict. As like a neutral, this will be tough to predict. Because I'm an Arsenal fan and I got to pet back the boys, I said 2-1 to the Arsenal. Yeah. But if we lose 4-0, I won't be surprised. If we win 3-0, I also, we have that potential. If it's a 0, I'll be surprised if it's 0-0. That'll be the only surprising scoreline is 0-0. But 1-1, 2-2, yeah, I can see it. But, I'm backing the boys, going 2-1.
I'm going 2-1 the other way.
Yeah, I can see it for sure.
Just because they're at home.
I can 100% see that for sure. What you thinking, Patrick?
I went with a big score. I went 4-2 Newcastle.
Yep, I can definitely see it. It should be an exciting one, regardless of what happens. Like I say, I'm pretty scared. Just as nervous as I was before City.
You're gonna have to bring, because you played City at home, obviously. You're gonna have to bring a whole lot more energy than what you brought to Chelsea. And
we'll get smashed if we play like that.
Even then, it's still gonna have to be double that because of the way St. James is. Chelsea was boisterous that night, but Chelsea's not like St. James.
We'll get smashed if we play like we did at Chelsea. We'll get smashed. Yeah. We'll get wiped off the park for sure.
Yeah. So, I'm looking hard at, because I think that y'all have put the talent together outside of a Havertz and a Jorginho. I think y'all have put the talent together down where you look hard at the manager to see, does the team go with the right attitude into these type of matches? Understandably, at home, I get it. You got the backing of the team, the fans, all that. But going on the road, you got to bring your own juice. You got to. And that starts with the manager first and foremost.
I agree 100%. I think that because Mikel Arteta couldn't give two you-know-whats about the League Cup, that's what our performance looked like. Mm-hmm. We looked like we didn't give at all. And
you can tell when y'all don't have the right attitude, and it starts at the top.
And so on Saturday, once again, we're going to need Aragorn in the locker room, giving a win one for the Gipper, because it's a battle. It's going to be an absolute dogfight, and we're going to have to bring the hatchets along. They'll probably give us one at the door. They don't issue shields. You don't get shields. You just get kicked.
No, yeah, you'll.
Yeah, you just get a broadsword and and here you go.
You'll get the little wooden practice ones.
Yeah, they're coming out there with the Series 4 deatomizer, and we got the noisy crickets. Yeah, there's a throwback reference for you, but yeah, it's gonna be a tough one regardless of what happens up north there for the Arsenal. I of course am hoping for a massive, impressive, memorable victory, but we move on to might as well go to Manchester United since they played Newcastle in the League Cup and were absolutely terrible. Did you guys hear anything about this game? Watch the highlights? Anything at all? Because
the highlights on ESPN FC.
Yeah.
Newcastle played. One guy hadn't played in 18 months. Paul Dummett had not played in 18 months.
Wow.
Matt Targett started but went off injured 3 minutes into the game. Like Lewis Hall scored. Like they played like 9. They made like 9 changes. Livramento. They made like 9 changes and absolutely brushed Man U's best team aside. At
He's
home.
not winning it again. Wait, yeah, this is the one he won. You're not winning it, right? They won the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
United are the champions of this tournament, and I had a discussion, a heated debate, because I put on one of the AFTV things about the League Cup game. I said I would give up ever winning the League Cup so that I could get 3 points on Saturday, and people are calling me crazy and mental or whatever, and so I had a long discussion about it with this guy, but United, and my point about it was that United, what did it do for United? They won the League Cup last season, and they're the worst they've been in 50 years. Newcastle, that's Newcastle's second win at Old Trafford in those same 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
Old Trafford is no longer a fortress. It's actually falling down to hear the singers. I love that song. I've actually been singing that song all day. It's stuck in my head because City were singing it, and then Newcastle were singing it. And so instead of saying Man City are on the beers, they said the Geordie boys are on the beers. And I was like, I was so pumped for it. But yeah, Man U are in the absolute mud. Like worst I've ever seen them. I'm shocked that Ten Hag's still around.
Yeah.
I don't think that sacking Ten Hag makes a difference, but I also think he deserves to be sacked. I don't think it'll fix them. They might bring in Potter, and
he doesn't look like he wants to be there.
I agree. Lewis is right. He's trying to get fired.
I think he just looks 100%. Like he never wanted to be like, as soon as even from the appointment, it looked like he just either that's just him or he literally just looks like he's so disinterested in having that job.
No, I think it's the toxicity of the job. I think it's the Glazers. I think it's how difficult it is to get anything done because of all the the petulance from the players, the having to deal with the board and having to deal with player power and this and that. And there's all kinds of craziness that he's just had to deal with from day one. But I do want to say something about the Man United players. And I said the same thing about the Chelsea players last year. And we had a discussion about this, you'll remember. Mm-hmm. Because the players quit playing for Potter.
Yeah.
The players have quit playing for Erik ten Hag.
Yeah, he's lost the locker room.
And now I get it. I truly do. I understand that his style of play sucks and you guys suck because you're trying to implement this counterattacking style, but no one if you don't work together, it's just not it's just not going to work. But to not work, I don't have a boss, but if you don't work for your boss, these guys signed a contract.
Right.
You got to do what your boss says. And Ten Hag's the boss. I know you don't like him. I know that you don't think, you don't respect his footballing credentials. He's clearly not trying to implement the Ajax way, which is what he was brought in to do. So, yes, I get all of that, but I'm questioning the integrity of these players. They have no integrity. They have no personal pride. To not play, to not try, in a game, first of all, you have forgotten, one, that you're getting paid ridiculous, stupid, obscene,
of dollars,
ridiculous money to play a game every week. Just obscene, gross money that you have more money. Some of these footballers have more money than actual nations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're out here not trying. It's a disgrace. It's an utter disgrace. And I'm not saying that they're not, because there's no proof that Marcus Rashford has just quit. Sure. There's no proof that Bruno is just quit or whatever. But if it is true, if this is true that you're not playing to try to get Ten Hag out, then you're a disgrace. You're an utter, absolute embarrassment to the game of football. And I don't even with my Arsenal glasses on, with my tribalism lens on, I do not care. Let it burn. Let it burn, baby, burn all the way to the ground. Let Old Trafford fall down.
Yes.
But from a footballing fan perspective, you have forgotten that there are millions and millions and millions of people out there that would give everything they've ever owned and ever had and ever dream of having to be in your position.
Yep.
You are downright ungrateful for the blessings you have in life, for the cushy, easy life you have. If you just won't play, just because you think you know better than the manager, or you think that you not playing is going to get you a different circumstance or change the manager. It's an absolute disgrace. You are an embarrassment to the league, to the game of football, to fans everywhere. You're an embarrassment to your own fans. How are you treating your own fans like that, who are paying your salary? Mm-hmm. It's an absolute disgrace. And if I was a coach, if I was Ten Hag, it'd be the reserves. You wouldn't know anyone from the next lineup at Fulham. You wouldn't know anybody.
Right.
You would not know a single name on that team sheet.
Right. You'd see the U18s. You're old. You're legally old at 16. You're legally old enough to play in this league. Fine. Guess what? I'm playing at 16.
I'm playing the U17s because you guys don't deserve to be anywhere near this field.
They might get bodied and pushed around, and the game's faster. Don't care.
Yeah. We might lose the next game. We might get relegated. We might lose the next 10 games, 10-0. We might ship 50 goals in the next 7 games.
As a coach, yeah.
But if you refuse to play for the badge, don't even worry about the coach. Have some respect for the badge. You are pissing all over a giant club.
Giant club, right?
Think about what you're doing to Sir Bobby's memory. Think about what you're doing to Sir Alex Ferguson's legacy. Think about the names and the players and the people that you are just pissing all over.
He looks depressed when they pan to him at Old Trafford. He looks
like I say, let it burn. Ten Hag in forever.
Yeah,
but from a perspective,
if you fire him,
yeah, bring in Graham Potter. Go, let the circus continue for sure. But from a pure footballing fan's point of view, you guys have no honor, no integrity. You don't even have pride in being a man. Show up and have some pride in yourself as a footballer. You call yourselves professional footballers and you won't try for the manager just because you think it's going to get him out. There's not a word for how disgusting that is. It makes me vomit. It makes me want to vomit in my mouth. Like there are millions who would give everything to be in your spot.
Yeah.
And you're not even going to try?
I was going to say it was kind of what I was saying last year with Chelsea. At some point, your pride has to come in. You're take away, love for the club and all that because, most of them are mercenaries, just being truthful. But how do you have the ability to go out and not play your best? Like,
I couldn't ever do that. X, when we were playing pickup, when we were kicking the ball 3v3 amongst some randoms, that we met at the park, I was clobbering people. I was going hard in the paint. I could not go. I didn't have that.
Right, you don't.
I didn't have that slack off in me ever.
Right.
And I never, the highest I ever played was the beer league in Charleston. Come on, man.
It's about personal pride. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And you know, last year it was frustrating as a Chelsea fan to see. You're like, come on, you've got the talent to do this. Like there's, I don't care how you feel about the manager, and I'll take it a step further. I really do think this Jadon Sancho thing has split that locker room. And it's not because they agree with Jadon Sancho. I think it split them because of the way that Ten Hag treated him and has pretty much shut him out of the team. Because if it were something that was an issue that everybody agreed with, like, hey, that's not cool, and he treated him this way, this team would still play for him. So I think that plays a massive role in this. And I don't think Ten Hag's a good manager. I mean, you know, he's trotting out Val Veghorst as a 10 last year at times, and it's like, what are you doing? And you know, truthfully, that team last year was Marcus Rashford on an incredible tear. You know, so I don't understand. I'll take Mason Mount as a perfect example. The dude wanted the move so bad that he sat the rest of the season. He was making the move before the season was over. He went and got surgery so that he could be healthy to play for them. Does he play? Not as much as he probably should, just based on what they have in that team. But when he plays, he still is nowhere to be found. Nowhere.
Well, nobody looks like they're having fun.
You know. Oh God, nobody's having fun.
Nobody looks like they're enjoying playing for United. Like, that's the difference, right? Like, Arsenal, like, them boys look like they enjoy playing for Arteta and enjoy playing for Arsenal, enjoy the fans that they have. Like Chelsea last year, I think the boys got to a certain point under Potter where it was like, I don't like this manager because he's a clown. The fans are clowning me, so I don't like them either right now because we're getting clowned. So it's like it just starts, you know, the dominoes just start falling one after another. And Old Trafford's really at that tipping point because, you know, without that again, if I could change one thing about last season, put Liverpool fourth, make United go back to the Europa. Like, don't let them finish top four or win that cup because it's like,
what's it matter? They're going to lose to Copenhagen. They're going to Denmark in the week. They're going to lose in Denmark.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
And they'll be out.
They'll be
out of Champions League. If they're not careful, they won't even make Europa League.
Yeah.
So all of that to say that it's a 1-1 at Fulham.
Yeah.
I don't see them beating Fulham.
That's too. That's exactly.
I don't give them.
I'll keep the draw. I'll go 0-0.
Yeah.
I said
I'll be surprised. I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised they don't if no one scores.
Well, Fulham's riding high. They played pretty well on in the League Cup.
Well, in the League Cup, yeah, but that's because they were playing Ipswich. But in the game against Brighton, they got lucky. Yeah. Brighton couldn't finish at all in that game, which was crazy. And Paulinho should have been sent off, and he had their equalizer. But yeah, I mean, Pereira and Paulinho are going to run this game.
Oh yeah.
I just don't see. I don't see any combination. Whether it's, because if Bruno plays out wide on the right again, he's just going to be a ghost, and he'll pop up so that he can scream at the referee, and that's all he'll do. If he plays in the middle, they might have a chance, but then that's Mount sitting again, and so it's McTominay, Amrabat, Mount, or Bruno. Like, I couldn't even tell you what they're going to do, what he's going to do. But I don't think it matters. I genuinely don't, because United, people are like, oh, they don't have a style, they don't have an identity. The only thing they do is counter, try to counter. And when Rashford isn't playing well, they're just not good at it. So unless Rashford just miraculously comes out of his funk, I don't see it. Fulham aren't gonna like be super aggressive and incisive with their possession and passing. So there's not going to be like huge space on the counterattack. So I don't know they're not good in possession, Man U.
Right. Well,
I don't see how they're going to win the game.
So, like I said, I saw the highlights from this from ESPN FC. I was watching their after match show or whatever. And one of them, I think it's the clown you don't like. But
Craig Burley, the Scottish guy?
I think it's Craig Burley that said this. He's like, you look at their lineup, and all they were missing was a prolific striker. And I'm like, they had that last year. Like, I know he's a winger, but he played like a prolific striker last year, you know? So it's so much more than that. Like, he was like, if they had gotten Harry Kane, they would be, fighting for, first place and this. And I'm like, no, they wouldn't. No. I mean, when you decide that Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire are your best center back pairing, when you decide that you would
that Lindelof should play left back.
Yeah, exactly. I understand injuries. Trust me, I understand injuries completely. But you lose the plot. I mean, that was the one thing about Potter that was frustrating, was he was playing people where they had no business to be playing.
Yeah.
And, that was where you're like, does he really know what he's doing?
Sterling it right back.
Yeah, Sterling it right back. I mean, just, just examples.
Hold on.
And you're just like, it's a Ten Hag issue for sure. But that is so much deeper. I mean, so much deeper than a manager. So, yeah, get rid of Ten Hag. I mean, we had this discussion Monday night. I don't feel the same way about Ten Hag as I do for the Luton manager, just as an example.
Right.
Ten Hag has been given what he needs to be successful.
Well, right. He's given 3 transfer windows. He's brought players in. He spent himself
400.
I was about to say he spent himself almost $500 million.
Yeah.
400. That's the
400. And so, he's got like 8 or 9 of his own guys now.
Yeah.
No excuse.
I mean, this team is his. This team is his. And that's the thing, you get rid of Ten Hag, and this is the thing that Chelsea, and I don't know if X will agree with me or not. This is where Chelsea got in trouble near the end of the Roman Abramovich era. It's because they sacked so many managers that they had these players left over for certain systems that they tried to fit into other systems, and it just doesn't work. Right. And that's what's going to happen with United. I mean, Ten Hag needs to go.
They got 4 or 5 guys. They got 4 or 5 guys that have seen 4 managers.
Yeah. So
we had the same. Yeah.
Yeah. You buy players for a system, and that manager leaves 6 months, year, 2 years later, and you're still sitting there.
Trying to get.
That's what happened to Yachty.
Yeah.
Tuchel brought him back to play with Tuchel, and then Tuchel's gone 3 days later.
So yeah, like you're talking about, like we brought in Sarri. Sarri got his guys in. Sarri gets sacked. Now Conte has to work with Sarri's guys and bring his own guys in. Sarri ball isn't the same as what Antonio Conte was trying to play. God forbid.
Oh God, no.
Thank God we won the league because we had amazing prolific players like Diego and Hazard and everything like that carrying. Didn't matter what system you put them in, they're going to score 12 goals.
You guys go out there and do what you do.
Go play Sunday, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's Hazard. Like, you're going to tell Hazard tactics? He wasn't even at practice.
No, he wasn't actually. He was playing Mario Kart.
He was at the Burger Shack.
He was at the Burger Shack and then playing Mario Kart. So yeah, I do feel bad for them in that instance, but again, once you lose that locker room, man, like that's your job. Like that's, to me, if I'm an owner, that's I do not care. Go out there and lose games. If you do not have these boys and these fans back, like endeared to you, you're gone. Like I can't stomach sitting you around here not getting results. Fine, if they hate you and we're winning trophies like Mal was, we could talk about it. But if they hate you and they won't play for you, and now the fans are turning against you, and now the club's turning into turmoil, then yeah, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let all these signings
Well,
go.
Mal got pushed out of United as well. The players pushed him out. They wouldn't sell Pogba. They chose Pogba over Mourinho.
Injured Pogba over Mal. Yep.
So that's, I mean, it's just the same old thing. It's just the same old thing. So okay, so you fire Ten Hag and you bring in whoever, and they have a good 6 months, and then it's crap for the next year. And then you fire that person. They have a good 6 months, and it's crap for the next year. It's never going to change. It's not going to change. It's been the same thing since Fergie left, and I love it.
Do you think deep down all these players kind of hated either at some point or at another have hated United in their fandom growing up? So they're like, man, I have to play for United now. Like,
man, you were on this conspiracy thing with Agent Georgie, Agent Kai,
Agent Mount,
Agent Mount. Yeah, man. No, I think that
I couldn't.
It's crazy.
Man United could sign me, but deep down, I'm gonna run just.
You try to sabotage them
just a little harder for the boys in blue.
Yeah,
I
feel that.
Yeah,
I feel that. Yeah, well, we've all gone for draws in this one. I don't see them. I don't see it. It's bad. It feels rough to say, but I feel like they're going to struggle every single time they take the field.
Big day for Fulham.
Only reason I gave them a goal was because I think Højlund gives them something.
Højlund is by far the only bright spot. I actually like Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah,
and I feel bad for him.
He's a lot better than I thought he would be.
I feel bad for him. They owe him multiple apologies. For more than one game, like because he actually played like versus Galatasaray. He was fantastic, and the rest of them were so poor. It's incredible. So they owe Rasmus Højlund an apology, and I think he needs to be looking for the door already. He needs to be finding, Chelsea, scoop him, because y'all could use him. Scoop him. That's what I'm saying. Bowley, I know Bowley's got somebody listening to the Cup Chasers. I'm telling you, brother.
We'll give you the 65 back for that you paid, or the 50 you paid us for
Mount. There you go. Sounds like a deal. Sounds like a deal to me. Well, United are mudded, and we definitely love. We could sit here and rag on them all day, but we'll switch to the blue side of Manchester. They are hosting Bournemouth for the weekend bloodbath.
Easy weekend, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is there much to say on this one? The only point I'll make is that Bournemouth like to play open, and they're going to get ripped to shreds.
They're going to get ripped. Can KDB come back and play on his crutches just for this?
Right.
just put him in a wheelchair in the middle of the pitch and just let him,
Just let him serve it into Holland.
Serve it in.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to move. Just stay in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah. I mean, he might even rotate. Like there might even be some. I mean, they don't need to. They were rested in the week, obviously, because they didn't play in the League Cup. But I just 5-0, man. I said 5. It's going to be a thrashing. Holland's going to stat pad. You're saying 4?
Yeah, I'll go 4.
And yeah, it's just going to be a stat pad. Alvarez will score. Foden will score.
I'll go 3. I think it'll be 3. I think it'll be like Foden, Alvarez, Holland. So they'll share the wealth in this.
You think they're just going to be chilling, cruise control?
I like Captain Holland again.
Just easy.
I would. He's gonna, he is. Yeah, I mean, we might see Grealish, Foden, Doku, Alvarez, and Holland all on the score sheet. Yeah. It's going to be rough.
Could be. Yeah.
Trust me, like Bournemouth. I have not seen Bournemouth low block it even once all season. Not even at home to Arsenal. They didn't even play a low block at home to Arsenal. No. So if they go and play low block versus City, they won't win. It's not like that's going to make them win, but they're not. So they're going to go and they're going to be open, and it's going to be
they're going to get
bloodbath.
It's
going to be really, really bad.
Yeah,
that's pretty much all I have on that game. I don't even see a way. Like Bournemouth just don't got it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the same vein, Liverpool go to Luton
to grace them with a bloodbath.
This is going to be worse.
Yes.
This will be worse. I predicted 6 for
I
this
have
one.
4. I have 4 for this one.
Yeah, it's this one is going to be bad news bears. Luton are really poor. They don't defend well, and Liverpool score goals for fun. Mo Salah is going to have an absolute field day. Nunez will score. I'm backing Nunez to score. Did you see the absolute banger he scored versus Bournemouth in the League Cup?
Yeah.
Yo, so 7 minutes before this one, he's prime first things we saw of Nunez, just whiffing goals. He's missed an absolute sitter. I'm talking about Lukaku style miss.
Had to get paid to miss it.
Oh yeah, I'm shocked. In the form Nunez is in, I'm shocked that he's missed it. And then 7 minutes later, turns around, beats a man and rips it into the corner like it ain't nothing. Like, where was that 4 minutes ago? But fair play. Hell of a goal. And no one remembers the Lukaku when 3 minutes later you smash it home.
Yep.
So it's going to be a bloodbath for sure. I'll be interested to see who plays, what he goes with. But I think regardless, that front five.
Yeah. He might rotate.
Dude, Jurgen Klopp could play himself in this game. It's going to be rough.
So I actually went with a lower score just because I think that Luton will play a little bit more inspired at home. I do think that Liverpool can break down a low block. That's not an issue. I went 3-1 Liverpool just because, again, I don't trust their defense.
Luton are bad, man. Luton can't score goals, dude. They cannot score goals. They couldn't score past a 10-man Spurs who were not good that day. I have zero faith. I have zero faith in Luton. None. They're not gonna get the ball down the other end of the field because they're gonna be too busy getting battered. Their goal is gonna be too busy getting peppered. Their goalie will make 7 saves and they'll give up 7 goals.
They'll still give up.
For sure.
It's gonna be bad.
I expected that last weekend with Villa, and I got burnt pretty good on that one. So I'm gonna be a little bit more conservative.
Well, hey, speaking of Villa, because segues are really weird, they visit Nottingham Forest, and it's another bloodbath. Just another bloodbath on the cards. Especially Forest coming off of the 3-0 to Liverpool, a very similar team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would argue that Villa actually are better I think they're better in possession in slow build up from the back than Liverpool are. Liverpool are kind of there's still that heavy metal kind of rock and roll, and the way they progress is through long diagonals, balls into the channels. Way different from Villa, who like to play through the middle, through Douglas Luiz, progress with John McGinn. Like I said last week, Villa are scary.
Oh, yeah.
Look out. 3-0. Light work.
That's what I went with, too.
Yep. It's a reasonable scoreline. Ollie Watkins, Diaby. It's yeah.
I love watching Diaby. He's
Arsenal should have bought him. What were we thinking?
I'm gonna go 2. I'm looking here. Let me go 2-0. I want to say Forest are gonna get a goal, but they're just not.
They just won't.
They're just not.
Oh man, yeah. Douglas Luiz is playing too good. Yes, Forest, all they have is the counter. That's all they can do is counterattack.
Right.
But yeah, Douglas Luiz, John McGinn, they're gonna boss that midfield. They're gonna, they'll be too good in there. I don't give Forest a goal. Yep, don't think it's gonna happen. Let's see. Speaking of not being able to score, Burnley are hosting Crystal Palace. in a game where there might not be goals.
0-0, baby. Yep.
You going for it?
Actually, no. Burnley.
0-0?
I'll go. Palace gets 1.
That's what I said. I said
I
1-0.
think Burnley lose this game.
Actually,
yeah.
I said 2-1 Palace. Actually,
I don't think Burnley scored in this game.
they're at home. They're at home. You said 1-0 Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah, Palace are bad. You know, that performance versus Spurs, they threw it away, man. They just threw the game away. They didn't want it.
Yeah.
They didn't want to win. And the problem is Burnley are worse. And Burnley are really open. I think Roy will have Palace in kind of a mid to low block. And they're decent on the counter. They can play quickly at times. I do hate Jordan Ayew, but he will play. He always plays. He's got that team over under contract. So he'll play. Yeah. But I don't think he'll have much of an effect on this one. This will be tough, man. I think Burnley can win it. I think for Lewis's sake, for Vinny's sake, they need to. They certainly need to win this one. I think when you look at it on paper, this is a game that Burnley should be identifying as must. You know, we're not going to get points versus City, versus Arsenal, versus Liverpool. You know, it's going to be tough to get points versus Newcastle, Villa, Chelsea, Spurs, you know, United. But Palace, Wolves, Luton, you know, Bournemouth, Forest, these are the teams, if Burnley are going to stay up, that they're going to have to take points off of at home. Have to.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm cheering for Burnley. More so because I support Lewis than I support Vinny. You know, but so I'm hoping Burnley can get a win. But yeah, I think for the predictions league, I've gone Palace 2-1. What'd you say, Patrick?
I actually have goals in this one. I think that Burnley is so open that Palace will be able to score. I do think defensively Palace is not that good. So I actually went with a 2-2 draw.
Hey, it's not too shabby. I think it's acceptable for Burnley. It's not awesome.
No.
Definite drop points for Palace on a 2-2. But shoot. You know, that I think there's a world where that game could be a little spicy.
Yeah.
A little spicy. I hope so.
Just with how open Burnley is, it invites Palace to being able to score, but in the turnaround, Palace just defensively is not good.
Rough.
The funny thing is Mark Gia, I think is his name.
Gahey or whatever.
Gay, former Chelsea academy, by the way, is on like everybody's transfer radars for January.
Well, he just got an England call up.
Yeah, he just got an England call up. So, I mean, I guess he's the only bright spot for them right now.
I mean, it's a broken record. They need Eze. They need Elise. That's the same thing we say about them every week.
Yep.
Every week, man.
And so, but I do think there'll be goals in this one. I think it'll be pretty open, and it might actually be kind of fun to watch.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, our final 3 games, all of them actually look interesting. We'll start with Brentford. West Ham will be our next game at the G-Tech. So this is kind of an interesting one. Brentford kind of a little bit resurgent last couple of games.
Unfortunately,
yeah, for you guys at least. This one had me scratching my head a little bit because Brentford like a low block.
Yeah.
And West Ham like a low block. So if nobody wants the ball, what's the dynamic of this game? I had to really think hard on this one. Like, I think because Brentford at home, they will have more of the ball. And West Ham will try to counter, which will get them goals. But I think at times Brentford will let West Ham have the ball, And so I don't think either team will like control and dominate, but I think there will be spells for both teams. And so it'll be back and forth is what I think. And I've gone 2-2.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, West Ham's almost strongest team, minus Ward-Prowse and Antonio, struggled really to create against Arsenal until the second half, for a long time until that second half. Really, the whole first half, they didn't create much. They got a goal on a foul.
Right.
But in the second half, we just didn't come back out, and they were able to do with us as they would. And I don't think Brentford are going to kind of let them just walk all over them like we did in that second half. So yeah, I think 2-2 is about right.
I'm actually going to go 3-1 West Ham. I think that that attack for West Ham, one, they're just giants, absolute giants. So I think they get one on a corner or a free kick. Of course, Ward-Prowse, probably feeds it in for sure. And then, of course, Antonio, he's going to beat somebody on a counter. You just know he's going to. And I think that Brentford's going to really push, and, they'll get their third one. It'll be like 2-1. Brentford's pushing. They try to get a point, and West Ham will shut it down. So went 3-1 to the Hammers.
Yeah, I can see it for sure.
I got 2-1 to the Bubbles.
The Bubblies. 2-1 West Ham.
This is actually an interesting matchup. It's 9 versus 10.
Yeah, it should be. It should be for sure. It'll be interesting to see what Moyes does because Bowen was down the center against Arsenal.
Yeah, I saw that. That was interesting.
So it was Benrahma, Bowen, Kudus.
Yeah, Kudus, yeah.
So it might be Antonio, Kudus, Bowen. That's what I would expect.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. That's what I expect to be a pretty strong front three.
Yeah.
But should be a good game. That one definitely should be interesting. Another interesting one just because of Everton's resurgent form, plus they got a 3-0 over Burnley in the League Cup. They host Brighton, who are in a pretty bad way at the moment. They got 1 win in 5, been struggling, missed lots of chances versus Fulham. Is this going to be one of those situations where it's like you'll see the real Brighton on, coming on Saturday? One of those things.
I don't think you will. I think that there's some issues in that side, and again, I point to, they're finally in Europe, so they're having to deal with European nights, even though it's not Champions League, it's not Europa, but it is still playing in Europe. And again, all of the transfers for a club like that will eventually catch up with you. And I truly believe that's what's happening right now. And they have had some injuries as well. And so that makes it even more glaring at that point. I don't think Everton beats them, though. I think the Brighton has enough up front to beat Everton at Everton. I went 2-1 Brighton.
Dude, you got a quick copy of my scores. Like, did you look at my screen? You looked at my screen. I'm telling you.
I did not look at your screen. I promise.
Yep. Had the mirror.
Yeah, he's done something. I've also gone 2-1. I think that Everton are poor defensively, especially on free kicks. I think they will be tight and compact, and they might be a little bit better defensively than I've seen in a few games, especially that Luton game. Good grief! But I think that because Brighton are going to come at them, I think they in turn will also try to hit on the counter, and with that fantastic DCL goal. I don't know if he played versus Burnley. I actually didn't even watch those highlights. It was
I don't think he did. It was a
3-0. So I was just like, whatever. But I expect that he'll have some confidence, and I expect he'll get one on the counter. But I think Brighton will find the scoring boots, at least for 2, and we'll be good enough for the 2-1. What you saying, X?
I think Brighton take this 2-0.
2-0. I can see it.
Well, if the right Brighton shows up, that is.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, I think he did play. He wears number 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played.
He is number 9. Actually, no. DCL does not wear number 9. Beto, the new guy, Beto, wears number 9.
That doesn't look like Beto, though.
And he's a giant. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe DCL does wear number 9. I think Beto might have 11, or they might.
Maybe. You know what? I'm just gonna look.
I know Beto finished the game. I actually did watch the highlights. Now that I think about it, I watched all the highlights. Beto did finish the game. But I think DCL will start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they'll play together. That would probably be a good thing. I feel like when you're trying to play a counterattacking style, having 2 forwards as if you're playing a 4-4-2 instead of a wide, expansive 3 is easier. I know that City weren't playing a counterattacking style versus Arsenal, but the way Haaland was knocking it down for De Bruyne last season, is kind of what Everton, I think, could do. Hoof it to DCL and have him knock it down for another person who can win second balls, but then also has a pass through the lines for a run on. I think it's something Everton should try. So maybe if Dyche could get Beto and Calvert-Lewin in together, might be something worth looking at. But yeah, that brings us to the final matchup of the weekend: Sheffield United hosting Wolves.
The bad, and the worse.
Hey, man, you watch it. I have a soft spot for Wolves this season. Did you hear that?
I did.
I heard that. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, my wife, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, the Wandering Wolves are gonna defeat the Blades. I don't see Wolves putting up 6 on anyone. So I've only said 2-0 because Wolves, Cunha can't score to save his life, but he does everything else very, very good, very, very well. But I think that Wolves are going to ride the form of Mr. Huang Hee-chan, I believe is actually how you're supposed to say it. The Huang comes first. So Huang Hee-chan is a monster. I think he's going to score in this one. I think Neto will score in this one, and it'll be a 2-0 for the Wolves. Easy day. I think Sheffield will probably defend a little bit better than we've seen, but not good enough to keep them out. 2-0 to the Wandering Wolverhampton Wolves.
I'm going to go 0-0.
Oof. Woof.
Yeah. It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, Wolves have struggled to score, and Sheffield are awful. So
Sheffield are awful.
I can definitely see the 0-0.
Exactly. That's what I'm going for. Yeah, 0-0.
What'd you think of Patrick?
I'm going for the shocker.
No.
Sheffield will get 3 points this week.
No way.
No
to
way.
The Blades.
2-1?
Yeah.
I love hearing you pick that because that is just that's a I don't even know what to call that.
My man is so comfortable up at the top.
That's what it is.
Not really.
That's what it is. He's trying to give us one.
He's trying to give us.
No, seriously, I do think that, of course, Sheffield played really well against City at home. I think that this is one of those ones where you look at it on the schedule and you're like, hey, that's where we can finally get some points. I know that Wolves have played well, but they've been playing well at home. They played City well at home. Sure. So what do they look like out on the road? I just think that this is the week that Sheffield gets a win. And then the bottom of the table gets really interesting at that point. because right now they're sitting on one, and everybody's kind of pulling away, so they have to have one, and this is their one of their few chances where they can get one. So
yeah, especially
to the Blades,
especially if Forest, Bournemouth, and Luton all get smashed. Plus, we've predicted Burnley to lose to Palace and Everton to lose to Brighton. So, I mean, literally all of their rivals have tough games. This is the opportunity.
This is their chance.
They won't do it, but this is the opportunity. That would be an absolute disaster for Wolves. Whoever loses to Sheffield the first time, it's going to be a disaster.
Oh yeah.
It might be us.
My
Stop
goodness.
playing.
Y'all aren't that bad. Y'all can't score very well, but you're not that bad. Come on. Sheffield are so poor, man. They're going to challenge Derby for the record of worst ever. We all thought it was going to be Luton, but Luton won one game, and they're already better. Way better. That's the game. Sheffield versus Luton. Oof. Oof. Massive for them, but an absolute eyesore for the rest of us. Yeah, that I'm not sure when that comes, and it'll probably come. It'll be soon. I know that much. We're already on week 11. Season is well underway. We're already 25% done with the season. It's been awesome. It's been wonderful so far. I've certainly enjoyed it. Yeah, well, there you go. That's all the games done and dusted. Spurs and Chelsea are going to have a good one on Monday. Arsenal are going to have an absolutely horrible time of it up in Newcastle. Hopefully we can come away with the win. There's definitely going to be some bloodbaths this weekend. City are going to cruise. Liverpool, Villa will probably smash. But it's definitely looking like another awesome weekend in the Premier League. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to try to catch as much of it as possible. Yeah, so go ahead and get the likes up on the video, people. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Subscribe if you're new. We are on our way to 200 subscribers, so go ahead and smash that button. Get the notification bell on as well for all of the new videos. We do drop the spotlight of the week every Wednesday, so definitely look out for that one. Once again, thanks for being here. Hope you have a wonderful evening, and you will see us next time.